In this video, we are going to talk about the job market in Spain and how you can get a job there. Hi, my name is Storani. I am an international career coach and LinkedIn expert, and this is my channel where I bring professionals from the recruitment field and successful professionals that got jobs internationally to help you get your job internationally. And today I am with Marina Morse, which is part of the Team Tana, and she's based in Spain.
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Yeah. Woo! And she knows everything about it, and she's gonna talk about how you can get a job there. So yeah, thank you, Marina, for being here.
Thank you. It's great. I have to say, I've been living in Spain now for a few months. I'm still not getting used to the heat. It's quite warm. I love being in Ireland right now. But I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of work with universities. I've done a lot of work with companies since I've been there. And I have to say, actually, the market over there is brilliant. It's really, it's booming, absolutely booming. Like
really, because I heard, at least in the past, the job market wasn't going really well.
Yeah, and Spain has had its difficulties, to be honest with you. And I think, certainly for the locals, the Spanish companies, yes, there is probably still a few difficulties left over from the economic ups and downs. But the one thing that's really interesting is that Barcelona is almost becoming a mini Dublin.
Really?
Yeah.
Barcelona.
So basically what's happening is, we all know, Dublin is great. We love Dublin. But can you imagine if Dublin had the weather in Spain? No one would ever leave. We'd never leave.
Yes.
We'd have to expand the borders. Yeah. So what a lot of companies have decided to do, for people that don't want to move to Ireland, for whatever reason, or they just don't think that Ireland is their place, they thought, well, listen, let's see if we can get people to Spain. Mm-hmm. So I was actually looking on a website this morning where I think it was Jobio. Jobio, yeah. So I think there's something like, I don't know, nearly 800 jobs.
800 jobs with languages.
Yeah, with languages, with tech, so data scientists. There's finance roles, sales roles, multilingual roles, I mean, you name it. But they're all with startups. All of them. So there is this website. I'll get Tana to post it in the links to make sure I've got the right one. But so basically, Barcelona is turning into a bit of a startup hub, and it's where Dublin was a few years ago. So to be honest with you, I think Barcelona is going to be the next big hub. And it's great.
Really good.
And I like being there. It's good. It keeps me busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with with the weather and the beach.
And the weather, yeah, and you can't. And we were talking about the cost of living.
Yes. How is the cost of living like?
Well, listen. Now I know I'm not supposed to say it. It's on live camera. But I mean, I think we all like to go out on a Friday night, and I know if we go to Temple Bar in Dublin. So I think I know if we're going to Temple Bar, you might be paying, I don't know, 10, 12 euro for a pint, which is a lot, when you've just arrived here and you're trying to get your career up and off the ground. Maybe you're trying to buy a house.
Yeah. I would say from 5 to 10.
Yeah. But in Spain, things like that, things like food, things like dining out, things like tapas, the rent costs, they're all so affordable. That's the great thing.
How affordable?
Okay, so I think, if you're renting an apartment, I think you could probably get a room for about 300 to 400 quid in Barcelona a month. Yeah. And it depends how close you live, but the transport systems are really, really good in Barcelona. So they have great metro, great buses. They have a Lewis, I don't know what it's called, but they have a tram. So you can get around everywhere. The cost of transport is really good.
Okay.
The cost of electricity and gas and what have you, it's really affordable. So in terms of living, so once you've got your salary and you're covering your food, your social life, all that kind of stuff, it's really affordable.
And what's the salary like?
So salary can depend. So you've got to remember that with the cost of living means the salaries are going to be lower. So if you're in customer service and you're getting 25, 30k here, you might be getting around 15 to 18 there. But 15 to 18,000 in a salary over there is really good. And on the multilingual side, they pay really well. Tech, they've got, there's a huge, like I said, a huge tech scene over there as well. I mean, for salaries there, I think for a data scientist, you're looking at 40 or 50k.
That's very
which
good.
is really good considering the cost of living.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I want to move to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. You have to come over more often.
Now.
Yeah. But it's good. Now we were saying as well, like, how easy is it to get a job?
Yes. She was telling me that's super easy now to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like how? Like do they need a CV in English or Spanish?
So I think if you're working for like a big multinational, so I mean you've got like I think you've got things like Oracle are down in Malaga as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a lot of the big players that have an office in Dublin that are now moving to an office in Barcelona. So if you want to apply to a Spanish company, you need a Spanish CV.
Spanish.
And a Spanish CV is a one-pager, a bit like it is in Brazil.
All right.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
it's very, very similar. So we started doing that ourselves. So we have a girl who works with us over in Spain, and she's really good. So once we know what we're putting in, she puts it in the right format, which really helps as well.
Yeah.
But if you're applying to a multinational, you can do whatever you want. So traditionally, the ones that we have over here, the ones that Tana and I do on her CV service, we use that format.
Yeah.
So you can go 2 or 3 pages depending on your experience.
So in English.
Yeah. Oh, and in English. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, and particularly the multilingual, particularly because a lot of the hiring managers are actually could be based here in Dublin.
All right.
Which is insane. So they'll be based in Dublin, but they'll be hiring in Barcelona, and then they'll have their office and their team manager. So it works really well.
That's very good.
Yeah.
And I know like this startups, you know, there must be, you know, like from other European countries. Like I have a client that is interviewing for a startup in Barcelona, and the CEO, it's French.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
completely. So they're
all the interview was in English.
Exactly. So that's the thing. You don't need to speak fluent Spanish over there. It helps if you want to get around. So like, you know, when you come here to Dublin, you need your PPS number, and then you need a bank account and all that kind of stuff. It's very similar in Spain. So basically what happens when you go to Spain, you need a job offer before you get your PPS number. And in Spain, we call it a NIA, N-I-A. It's like your national insurance number, okay? NIA. But you have to have a job offer before you can get it.
Okay.
Once you get your NIA, then you can get your bank account. So it's very similar to the way it kind of works here. Now, in terms of getting a job, you know, if you're not European.
Yes, how is the visa situation?
Okay, so, you know, here in Ireland, it's quite, you know, you have to be, you know, super skilled and you can get a visa. In Spain, it's a little bit more difficult. It's not impossible, but they have to, the companies over there really have to prove that they cannot find that talent in Spain. So sometimes it can take a little bit longer than it would here, but it is possible. And you have to do exactly the same. So a Spanish company will advertise the role, or a multinational will advertise the role. Now remember, a critical skills visa, exactly the same rules apply in Spain as they do in Ireland.
All right.
Okay, so basically you have to be, you know, unfortunately, you know, most likely it's going to be IT, it could be senior, you know, IT is probably the best one. So you have to be, you know, seriously brilliant in parts of that. And then what they'll do is they'll interview everyone, and if they feel that you are the best person for the job, they have to then contact, I think there's a government a body that they have to contact to be able to apply, to justify the fact that they can't find this talent in Spain. So that's probably one extra hurdle that we don't have in Ireland.
And if the candidate is multilingual, doesn't have the, you know, like critical skills.
If you're multilingual, sometimes they will give you sponsorship depending on the type of role. So if it's depending on the type of role.
And what about spouses visa?
Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah.
So if you're married to a European citizen,
you just need, and there's loads of really good websites. The best thing to do is if you go onto some of the Facebook groups that are out there as well, they give you loads of information on how to move. So if you go onto like Jobs in Barcelona and Facebook, you get probably about 100 different groups.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of part of all of them, and I like to see what's going on. Like some of them will be like, you know, where should I go for dinner tonight? So obviously, you know, it's not all professional. But if you go on, you'll be able to see a lot of the information there. And you can post your question. guys, you know, I'm married to an Irish citizen. We want to move to Barcelona. We want to move to Malaga. We want to move to Madrid. What can we do? But if you go into Facebook, Facebook is brilliant. So trust me, you can get all the information on there. And people are really, really happy to help you.
Really?
Yeah, once they've moved over there. Because I suppose you're in a, you know, it's a smallish enough community. So people really want to help you find a job. They want you to come over. So people love, you know, like if you post a question, you'll probably have 50 or 60 replies. It's insane. So I like it. That's why I love living there. There's a really good community over there.
Ah, that's good. But she doesn't live in Barcelona. She lives in Sitges, though.
Oh yeah. So Sitges,
is very
yeah.
nice.
Sitges is beautiful. It's a seaside town. Because now that I'm getting a little bit older, I can't stand living in a big city. Now 10 years ago, I would have loved it. But now, you know, I like the quieter life. So I live by the sea. We have a little pool. I have my office at home. Yeah. So it's lovely. And Sitges is beautiful. So you can live in any part you can travel in. It's really easy. There's loads of small
So you can live, you know, like in cities around Barcelona, which is cheaper, and then commute.
And then commute in. And like I said, for me to go into Barcelona, it's like less than £8 for a return. So, you know, here in Dublin, you might be spending about, you know, 70 or 80 euro to commute per week.
Yeah.
Barcelona and similar countries, I know I've done it in Malaga as well, you're spending around 20 to 30 euro.
Very good, very good.
So it's great. It's a really good place to, you know, I often say if you've done your time in Ireland or you're not sure if you want to move to Ireland, consider Spain. It's amazing.
And for the candidates or, you know, people that is studying English here, you wouldn't know, right? If they can go there and work.
If they're studying here?
Yes, if they go there to study Spanish, if they can work as well, you know, if there's some sort of a Spanish
you've got English,
school.
but you've also got English schools.
So that's the website where most of the startups are posting their jobs now in Spain. Yeah,
so Job Fluent is, and I know I'm giving a free plug here, so I'm going to email this to Job Fluent, but they are absolutely fantastic. So Job Fluent are really good. They advertise all the startups. So anyone who's anyone goes on that website. Now, if you are looking for a multilingual job, we all know Top Language Jobs. They have a huge presence there. And Europe Language Jobs. So they're the two multilingual websites that I would recommend. Indeed, as well, is really good in Spain. So now bearing in mind, you'll have Indeed.ie and Indeed ES. Yeah, so just make sure that you're looking on the right one as well, because it can get really confusing.
The URL changed.
Yeah. And then my old favourite, okay, I have to say, because you know we love LinkedIn, obviously, go on LinkedIn. So on the jobs bit, go in and say, you know, whatever your job is, and don't get too technical. Don't put on like, I would like this. Just put in, you know, customer service. Trust me.
Yeah.
And then location, Malaga. Valencia is another huge place as
so
well.
Barcelona, Valencia, and Malaga.
Yeah, exactly. They're the big places where there's a lot of these companies because they're seaside towns. They're fun. They're great places to live, and it's a cost of living.
And Valencia is beautiful. I've been there already.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, no, I really, really love it. And they do great tours. And what Valencia does really well is they love encouraging new people to the city. So they have a lot of free tours. They have a lot of free museums. You know what it's like? You have to go in. It's like we have to pay €10 here to go in and see a book or whatever. No. In Valencia, you can go and see some of their finest art for free.
That's cool.
So yeah, so go into LinkedIn. Select your location, select your job title, and you will see absolutely loads. So there's so many different ways to find a job out there.
That's awesome.
I know, I love it.
Guys, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed our video. I would like to thank you, Marina, for being here.
It's great
sharing
to be here.
all this information, your knowledge, here with, you know, everybody on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you want anything, if you need any help with your CV or coaching, just contact us. Yeah, all right. So
definitely. Thanks a million, guys.
See you in the next YouTube video. Bye. Bye.